But I have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today?
Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
I need a bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Ojo! I learned my lessons from last time. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day.
Peter did you a favor, James. I just say, believe it.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like some of our drawstrings, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Woo! Yes! Yes, guys! It is not Sunday, and still we have an episode of A Drink With Brink because this is an extra show. An extra show because I missed some weekends, so I wanted to squeeze in some extra shows. Plus, we have some amazing campaigns to look at. So many awesome books and interesting creators to talk with, you know. Because I'm kind of done with the mainstream, right? So, and indie comics is where the passion is, guys. So yes, Perfect 10 issue 1, 2, and 3 are available through our web store. So I don't really advertise our web store often, but we have one, genuinecomics.com. You go there. You can find our catalog up until 1 year ago. So everything before a year back will be available on the catalog, and the rest you'll have to wait. So backers always get first. Backers always get the books first, and oftentimes we have like specific books that people can only get through campaigns, or they are very rare after the campaign, and you might get them through the web store. All right. By the way, guys, never post an advertisement on X that you're looking for someone, that you're looking for an artist, for someone to design a logo for you. Your inbox will blow up. Your inbox will blow up with what I think a lot of bots. I don't see the purpose. You know, you have so many bots, and I don't. So somehow they respond to people looking for, like, to give others work, and they respond, and then what? You know, I don't know, man. I have to sift through a lot of bullshit and find one person who can make a cool logo for us for a new thing, something new. We're always making stuff, right? Let us see who's in the chat with us today. It's Jolly Green. Welcome, Jolly Green. How are you today on this Tuesday? So this is not the normal show day, the day that I usually stream, but an extra show, because why not, right? And congrats on Jason on the launch. And he meant Tyson. Yes, congrats. And Edwin Acevedo is also here. Hail peeps. Hello, Edwin. How are you doing? The Ace Volume 3 is live, so go check that out, guys. Twitter has become a cesspool. As opposed to before the cesspool. Tony Horton. Welcome, Tony Horton. How are you, sir? Hello, everyone. Hope all is well with everyone. Well, I don't know about everyone, but my day is going fine. So welcome. Nice to see you in the chat. If you have any questions for the guests, guys, just throw them in there because it's time for the guests. It's time to talk about a cool campaign with a new guest to the show. Never been on the show before. We talked about it many times, and finally it happened. Finally, he's here. So let's set this up. Wait, Edwin says it was bad before, but now it's Facebook levels. Yeah, Facebook is terrible. Holy shit! The only reason I'm still on Facebook is to promote stuff, right? But beyond that, it's pretty useless, right? Right. Okay, time for the wonderful guest, guys. So let's do this. Let's have a conversation with our guest. May I have a very warm welcome for Mr. Tyson J. Rock.
Oh, thanks.
Woo! There he is. Tyson.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it finally happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanted to come on earlier to talk about your book, but it got delayed because you kind of delayed the launch, right? We can talk about
had
that.
some real world issues. Let's just say that.
All right. Is everything good now? Real world?
Yeah, everything's perfect now.
All right. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Tyson, before we talk about anything, I need to ask you the first question is, what are you drinking today?
Oh, gee, nothing really.
Nothing?
No, I guess if I knew, I would have prepared it more ahead of time, but well.
Okay, Jens, it's nothing today.
Huh? Do you have anything?
A what?
No, nothing. Right. Yeah, I always have my cola, like from the logo, right? I have to drink cola because it's in the logo.
I see.
Right.
I'll keep that in mind next time for sure.
Yeah, man, you have to come back more often. Right. So Tyson, let's talk about you a little bit because we basically never really talked, right?
Oh yeah.
So for the people watching and for me, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your history is with comic books?
Oh, well, I read comic books as I was growing up. I was, of course, really into Spider-Man, which was a key influence. But I mean, I didn't read as much as I would like because I grew up poor and I had a parental figure. I wasn't so into that stuff, so I couldn't get into as much as I wanted to. But I've always been on it, and I've especially been reading more in the past 10 years. Now I could do that. And how it got me here to writing basically is that everything it became crappy. And I decided, you know what, I always wanted to write. I always had a creative mind, so I'll make my own stuff.
Right. So you really started to read about 10 years back?
Yeah, that's why I was doing it more often.
Right. So you had to play catch up. Like
yeah.
Where did you start with your reading? Because when you start 10 years ago, there's so much out there. How do you know where to begin?
Oh, well, I dived into a lot of back issues for sure. Like I especially like 80s and a lot of the early 90s stuff too. It's that stuff holds up well in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, of course, try to read modern stuff, but for a long time I was bored with it. And it's funny because like they were able to make it seem like everyone loved it. So when I went online to complain, people attacked me, and I was like, "Wow, am I the only one who thinks like this?" But thankfully not. But
Right. So what are the main differences that you noticed between like this era of comics and the 90s, the
well,
80s?
the for one, the storytelling today is a lot worse. It just well, we already know how it is, but it's like especially when you go back to the 80s, like every character was well written back then. I mean, even if you go to like some throwaway series that people don't really remember so much, like the writing is just like so much better, even though it's just an average comic. It's like you don't even get that today. Today, it's just, of course, well, we already know what it's like. It's a total travesty most of the time.
So that drew you towards indie comics, or was it
Yeah.
the fact that you started to make your own book that brought you to indie comics?
Man, that's a good question. It's kind of both. I mean, I wanted to make my own story, but I always had a creative mind to me. So it's like that was already there. So in the comic book medium seemed like a perfect way to express that.
Right. Did you do anything creative before you made comic books, before you started to make comics?
I mean, I tried to write novels. In fact, I'm still trying to do that, but I haven't published anything or anything like that. So this
Right.
is going to be a first for me.
Wow, writing novels. That's tough. That takes a lot of dedication, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Comics suit me better because just the ability to write a script and I like the visuals of it. Like
Mhm.
when it comes to novels, you have to describe everything and have the
Yeah.
reader imagine that.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely more inclined to the visual aspect because when it comes to novels, you well obviously can't get that,
Right.
but still want to write a novel sometime. But we'll see where we go from there.
So what were your novels about?
Well, it's funny. I actually did try writing novels about superheroes before, just because I didn't have the money back then for comics
Okay. Yeah,
to
yeah.
make a comic, but I do now. So
So do they exist? By the way, novels about superheroes? I don't really know.
there are some I've heard of them, but they're not real particularly big. So yeah,
No, no, because you kind of associate superhero comics with the spectacle, and that's something you need to see,
exactly.
right?
It's hard to
Yeah,
get that in a novel. I mean, I'm sure someone could do it, but it's
sure,
not gonna be me. Like
sure.
when it comes to writing novels going forward, it's not gonna be superhero stuff. That's for sure.
Right, right. So, but what interested you in superheroes
Oh well,
genre?
like I said, the visual spectacle, but also just like the characters and like the themes of it. Like I think a lot of stuff is a bit too deconstructed nowadays, especially well, the modern stuff. But I
Mhm.
the overcoming obstacles, like defeating bad guys and like persevering, like all that good stuff.
Right. Yeah, yeah. This
And
is true.
combine that with the visual spectacle of it, and yeah, it's perfect storm.
Right. Do you have some favorite characters?
Well, I guess obviously Spider-Man has always been a favorite of mine.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
of course, I love the X-Men too, and Captain America, and of course, everyone loves Batman. So myself included. Like,
Sure.
I'm not as big into Superman as some others, but of course, I love Superman, respect him. But
Mhm. And did you get to know these characters through other mediums? Like
ye-
did it start with
well,
cartoons or movies?
yeah, I mean, as a little kid, it was they had the '90s stuff, and I remember that. Like my uncle in particular was into that stuff, and I watched with him. So that's kind of where it began.
Right. Yes, yes. That's too bad that we with the indie like space, we don't have the resources to do that, right? The reach. Like
Oh
these
yeah,
these mainstream guys, they had the reach. They entered the living room through your television, right? So it was easier to get people hooked to your world, to your characters.
yeah.
Right. So what kind of so how did you learn to write?
Through a lot of trial and error. Like
Right.
I'm kind of embarrassed when I look back at the older stuff I wrote, just because hasn't aged well. But like even when I started writing comics, it was tricky figuring it out. But I did it, and well, people tell me who I showed the script to told me it's really good. The pacing is really good. So hopefully, when the guys get to read the comic, you'll like it.
Sure.
But yeah, how I learned was just trial and error. Just keep trying and build my craft.
Sure. Do you have some writers that you look up to, or that you try to emulate, or that you learn from?
Oh yeah, one of my favorite writers is of course Chris Claremont on the X-Men. Like when it comes to writing comics, he was a big inspiration for me.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
that one, I think is where I got a lot of the style from. It's not all of it, obviously, but I don't want to go too wordy or anything. But
Yeah,
it's
right.
still like that one's one of my favorites. And of course, okay, it's funny. I like Frank Miller's Daredevil run, but I not all of Frank Miller. Like that's
Sure.
so that'd be an inspiration too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think when it comes to Spider-Man, I like the trifecta of like Roger Stern, Tom DeFalco, and David Michelini. I think that's how it's pronounced. Uh,
Mhm.
that's my favorite part of the Spider-Man in the '80s there. So
Right. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, there were so many Spider-Man series at one point. I think it was
yeah,
during the 80s and 90s. You had like 4 Spider-Man titles at the same time. It was crazy. So,
and and still not, and they said even more X-Men titles.
oh yeah, right. Yeah. The blue team, the gold team, I don't know, man. You have all the solo books, right?
Yeah,
Right. But do you prefer like solo characters? Your own character is a solo character, right? Your own book.
yeah,
And then you have the X-Men that has the team dynamic, and Chris Claremont was pretty famous for writing teams, right?
yeah.
So
Writing teams is a bit of a tricky thing because
yeah,
you gotta kill all these characters. You gotta make them fleshed out. Their powers have to complement each other, and their personalities have to play off each other. Like
yes.
this is gonna be a solo title. Like originally, it was part of a team book, but he
Oh,
was the most fleshed out of them all. Like I built him up first, and I decided that quality was better than quantity, so I went with that.
that's a good call, man. That's a good
Mhm.
call. I know what it's like to have so many characters that you really like, and you want to like feature them, like show them, throw them out there, but sometimes they're just not ready, and you just know, you just feel this character is not ready yet. So
Yeah.
just let it rest for a little bit, think about it, and when the time is right, you will introduce them.
Mhm.
So do you have things planned for your series? Is this was this like a spontaneous thing? I'm going to make this comic book, or was it like I have this story that I need to tell,
Oh.
and that's the reason why I'm going to make a book?
Oh yeah. Well, it did come about like wanting to make my own story. Let's just say Rebound had a lot of revisions before he came to be. Originally he was going to be called Device, and he was actually going to be like a tech-based hero. But like I
All
changed because
right.
it wasn't compatible with his backstory. But I felt
Mhm.
like I wanted to tell those episodic adventure stories, and so I started working on that. And I've worked on quite a few scripts, so they're done ahead of time, and hopefully I'll be able to come out with them quickly. Like I've actually got all the art for issue 2 made. So
Oh, really? Wow, you're ahead. So
yeah,
this interesting what you said. That first the character was tech based. He had a different name.
mhm,
So and then you changed things up, but you had some sort of storyline or something planned, right?
yeah.
So how did you manage to keep things still? So the essence of the character had to remain, right?
Oh,
Of the
that's a
story. How
good
did you manage
question.
that?
That's a good question. It's basically because, like I said, his backstory wasn't really compatible with his power set.
Hmm.
It's mainly because he comes from I wouldn't say quite poor, but more like middle class background, and this technology he's using is really expensive. He has no real place to draw the resources from, so it became hard for me to write it like where it made sense. So I
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
his power set, and now I landed on tactile telekinesis, and it makes more sense. So I was able to keep all of his backstory because it was already there, and I have a power set that works better with it.
Right. That's great. That's really cool how these things develop. That's fun. Right. So let us take a look at your campaign. We're talking about it, so might as well bring it up. Share the screen. We're going with this one. It's called Rebound #1, and your label is called Rising Star Comics, right? Cool. Look at you go, man. You 49 backers. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good start for someone who's literally just beginning and doesn't
Yeah.
have like a pre-established following or anything.
Right. Is this your first campaign ever, or did you run campaigns before this?
Oh no, this is the first one ever.
Wow. Well done. And you launched
Thanks.
like 4 days ago.
Mhm.
hmm So how did you manage this? What was your strategy to get to 48 backers in 4 days?
Oh, well, basically, I've been promoting forever on Twitter mainly, and I built up a lot of signups on the pre-page, the pre-launch page, and
Sure.
uh, so I had a base going in that way. So when I launched, I have I guess you could say insurance. That's I guess that's the word. So
Sure.
that when I launched, I already have some backers coming in.
Right. That's fantastic. So how many signups did you manage to gather?
Oh, like 235. But that was over the course of like 2 years, so it's not exactly reflective of a whole
Wow.
story.
So you
But it's
can
still impressive, I think.
you can keep the sign up page on Kickstarter for 2 years?
Yeah, because I've been delayed. I delayed multiple times. Like it was supposed to launch in last year. So
Yeah, yeah. No, but I think like Indiegogo has its limit, 6 months,
oh,
I believe, right? I'm not sure. And we have a few new people in the chat. Welcome all. We have Apex Comics. Welcome, Apex. Hi, Dave, Tyler, Edwin, Tony, Horton, Jolly Green. Yes, and we have Pops. Welcome, Pops. Look at this avatar, like a cartoony pop. Welcome, Pops. Cool. Right.
oh.
Uh,
And one of the reasons I had a delay, apart from real world stuff, is I had really bad luck with artists. I had to change twice over before I got my current one. But thankfully, my artist Zilson Costa is absolutely fantastic. He's quick. He's great. The art, and he's dependable. So he'll be on this book as long as he wants to do it, and
yeah.
hopefully that's forever.
I think Silson also did the Siamese for Dojo Kun Comics.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Like, I looked in his portfolio. In fact, I actually own that book, but then I looked into it. I was like, oh, that's funny. I didn't even know about it before a friend showed me to him, even though I own the book. So that was kind of a funny twist.
Right. So how did you end up with Silson?
Well, basically, I had a falling out with my second artist, and I needed an artist. And well, actually, that's not how the story goes. It. Let me put it this way. A friend of mine, Ron, Hero Geek, you're friends with
Yeah,
him, right?
I
He's
know him.
working on this
Yes.
anthology series called Tales to Aspire, and I was already on the edge of the whole relationship with this older artist, and I need an artist for this side story. So because I was still working with him, and so he introduced me to Zilson, and then we started working, and the art was just absolutely fantastic. It just blew away the art of the main book, and I was already on the edge. So then I realized I can't justify having the art of a side story be a million times better than the main book. So I promote
Yeah.
him to the main artist.
Right.
And
Wow. Yeah.
oh yeah, I should mention that I am working on a side story for this Tales to Aspire book that's going to be made by Ron. So more rebounds coming soon.
Oh, will Rebound be in there also?
Yeah,
That's through a different publisher, different campaign.
yeah, but it'll have the same artist, so more stuff.
Oh, that is awesome. That is great. Apex says Indie Gone. No, wait. He says Indie Gone, and then he says character reminds me of Spider-Man Speedster.
Huh. Well, yeah, that's some inspiration, but let's see. He is a well. We'll get to that later.
Sure.
But his power set, I think, is quite unique, and I'm quite proud of it.
Right. Shall we watch the trailer?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Oh. Oh. It looks a bit familiar. Oh, short and sweet.
Yeah. Didn't want to drag too long.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah. So it has a few like this is, well, you obviously get this when you make superhero books. You always have people who will compare things with things, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone has their favorite things. Everyone knows the famous books, right? And when you see this, what I think is, well, the main character is like this Spider-Man archetype-esque like
Yeah.
character, which is fine. And then there was one character that looked a lot like Psylocke. Was that coincidence? Was it like
Kind of. Well, I did draw some inspiration. I kind of made her hastily because originally she was going to be an armored character,
mm,
but yeah, she's a cybernetic ninja basically. So
oh, right, cyborg. Good job, Tyson says Apex.
thank you.
Hey, and Good Stuff is also here. Welcome, Good Stuff. Hello. We're looking at Rebound issue 1 today. The link to this campaign, guys, is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. Go check it out. We have 49 backers, which is excellent. Can we make it 50 during the stream? That will be great.
Yeah.
If you're back, by the way, let us know and we can have a little celebration. Right. Rebound, a classic superhero action adventure is here. So, this is some nice art. You can see him here.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Rebound, about the character and his powers?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Rebound. Yeah, he's a crime fighter, and he has what I call, well, it's called tactile telekinesis. Like, it's a form of telekinetic energy applied to the body. So he has enhanced strength, speed, agility, reflexes and stuff, and he can rebound off of surfaces. Like, that's where he got his name. He like bounces off of the walls and stuff. And also is like he has a bunch of other powers that come with it. Like, he can charge up his hands like to for enhanced punches, or he can charge his feet with TK energy to jump further. And he also is like an extension of like that feel. Like, he also has like superhumanly good aim. So he has these impact discs which he can throw with great accuracy.
Right, like Bullseye, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Does he bounce? Yes, I think he does bounce.
Well,
yes.
yeah, he rebounds, you would say.
Rebounds. Yeah. Was it difficult to find the name for the character?
Oh, maybe a little bit. I think originally I had a different name. It was going to be Reflex, but I didn't want to make an inadvertent Duran Duran reference, so I
right. Yeah. Right. There is no famous song called Rebound yet. Well, the art is nice. I love the Dutch angle, a little tilt there going on.
Oh yeah, that was done by Facundo Moyano, and he did a great job.
Yeah, really good. So you made a choice for the design, for the the build of the character, plus the color choices, and you have, I think it's supposed to be more black than blue.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Right.
Yeah. Originally, I kind of messed up. I in the art, he originally was more blue, and that made him look way too much like Spider-Man. So I changed to black.
I think
But,
I remember that.
And the results speak for themselves. It looks much better now.
Yeah. I think you posted about that, and you said that it meant that some pages had to be recolored.
Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't too big of an issue. It just took a little time, but
right. Well, yeah, looks fun. Looks like so. This looks like a fun, like upbeat characters. Is that the vibe you're going for with the story, with the comic?
oh yeah, it's definitely in the vein of like classic superheroes. I especially, like I say, took inspiration like what's called the Copper Age, which is often like 1984 to 1992. That's one of the best periods for me for comics. So that was a
Oh, really?
big influence.
Oh, wow. 84 to 92. It even takes place in New York City.
Yeah.
So,
And man, Zilson did a great job of drawing the cityscapes. I was kind of blown
yeah.
away when I first saw that.
Look at that. That's really good. Really cool. It's a lot of hatch work, right? But it doesn't. The less details you make for something like that, because it doesn't need to. It already adds detail because there's so much stuff.
Mhm.
So just hatching that works perfectly fine. And Apex says the rebound. He's the hit that bounces off the walls. I don't really know the song.
Oh, I do. Even though I didn't want to make a Duran reference, I actually am. I do like a lot of their classic music, so I can imagine that in my head.
Right. So I take it this is the opening page.
Yeah.
Get to know the character. So what is your process when you write this? You have like what do you first like lay out the story, then cut it
Sort
up
of.
in sections? What's your process?
Well, I don't. I mean, I do plan it out, but I don't plan it too extensively because, like, I've had this thing called world builder syndrome before, where I get too invested in that, and then I
Uh,
wouldn't have much connection to the story. So
right.
I kind of, I kind of write an outline of the overall plot, and then I just write it from there and sort of see where it goes. Sometimes it
Yes.
ends up going to a different place than where I originally thought it would be.
Right. Yes. I totally recognize that. So how do you prevent the story from getting out of your hands, like losing grip of where you want to go, right?
Well, basically, yeah, I have the outline, and even if it deviates from the outline, I try not to. I try not to write like just completely freestyle because so I at least know where I have some idea of what I'm doing. But
Sure.
yeah, I don't plan too far ahead in terms of like the multiple issue arcs and stuff, just because well, like I said, I end up with a world builder. Oh yeah, I know those songs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Have some
but
classic songs.
but yeah, it's like what was I saying? It just yeah, I plan out ideas for story beats, and I have ideas what I'm going to do, but I don't plan out it down to every single detail because it's fun to also kind of write by the seat of your pants too, even
Sure.
if but yeah, it's also good to maintain some idea of where you're going.
Sure. But for instance, like this scene, right? That Zilson drew here. So how did you write this for him? Did you are you very descriptive with your scripts, or do you leave most to the artist?
Oh, good question. I am descriptive, like when I need to be, but sometimes I also leave room for him to just interpret things because he's so good at it.
Hmm.
Like how it works, I write what I call the skeleton script. Basically, just gets the plot down, and then when I send the individual pages to Zilson, I add a lot more detail.
Sure.
And
Right.
yeah, the results speak for themselves. He does a great job.
Yeah, definitely. I like what he did there, basically breaking the page
Oh
with these
yeah,
with the floating section here. Really nice. So you have some guys causing trouble in the neighborhood, and then the friendly neighborhood rebound comes to
yeah.
kick some ass. So what's rebounds like motivation? Why is he a superhero?
Well, basically, it started when he was young. Uh, he had a father that he really loved and who meant a lot to him. But one day he was murdered right in front of his face. Like that's a plot that'll be explained in more detail later. But his father's memory lives on with him. And then a year after that, he got his superpowers, which will be in the book. And he decided that he'll use that for good.
Hmm.
Like
Right.
yeah, thankfully, yeah, I did include the origin story in the book. That'll be it's a flashback, and I've been told it was a pretty seamless transition. So yeah,
Sure. Yeah. That's these are decisions that you need to make when you introduce the character. Do you like do it through flashbacks, like so you learn more of him later on, right? Or do you start from the beginning? These are difficult things to decide sometimes.
yeah. I try to find a middle ground to that. Like I wanted to start with him already with some experience, but I knew I had to include some context of where he came from. So I was glad that we'll find a way to do that.
Right. Yeah, I love these poses. Very very Spider-Man like. But that's really nice, right? You have a character that kind of looks familiar but still different, which is cool.
And I'm pretty proud of myself for coming up with his superpowers because
Yeah.
it wasn't a seamless process coming up with that. I actually came up with multiple ideas after I abandoned technology. At one
Mhm.
point, I actually had this idea where he'd have like this darkness based power, so he'd be like Venom with the personality of Spider Man, and
Oh,
that'd be kind of funny. But I think that was what I was wanting to go for here. So I think came to tactile telekinesis and stuck.
wow.
I think the idea was inspired by what Superboy. He had something like that, and I thought that was really cool. So I came up with something like that for this character.
Sure. All right. A lot of inspirations from different things.
Yeah. Oh, that's by Paul Rodriguez. He did work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Pow. And I think that Pow told me that he based this cover on a unused cover that he made for Perfect 10. And so
Well, it was sort of like that. I already had it in mind that it'd be him carrying his girlfriend, but then he showed me like this thing where perfect 10 thing. I was like, is this good? Is something like this good? And I was like, yeah, sure. And there we go.
right, yeah. I think he was a little bit sad that we didn't use the cover.
Oh,
Because we changed the book up, right? So the cover didn't make sense no more.
mm,
Um, but he really liked the cover, so it's really cool to see that he could kind of repurpose it here. Really cool art, man. Really cool work. So this is like this cover B, and this is cover A
yeah.
by Facundo Moyano.
Mhm.
Cool. So $15 for these books. This is like a floppy sized book. What's the
Yeah.
size?
Floppy. It'll be a 48 page floppy
Oh,
with
48.
with some with
Oh,
some extra content like in the back, I guess. But yeah, it'll be a big floppy, so you'll have a lot of stuff.
right. By the way, I gotta say, man, this logo, this is brilliance. This
Oh yeah.
Rebound logo. Who made the logo for you?
It was this studio called Metal Ninja. They're like a group that handles a lot of this stuff, and they created the logo for me. Also created the Rising Star logo too, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, this is fantastic with the bouncing like line here.
Hmm.
Well done. Really cool. You have a cover C by Miss Crimson.
Yeah, she did the art for this book called Overmind. I'm not sure if you read that or not.
No,
Oh yeah, it was
no,
pretty
I didn't
good.
know. All
But
right.
and so I contacted her through Twitter, and yeah, here we go.
Really cool.
That one's. I think you might be familiar with that name.
Renzo Rodriguez. Yeah, Renzo.
Yeah, he was happy to do that cover, and it turned out great.
So you have another character right here. Some sort of.
Oh, oh yeah, his name is Armor 5. He appears in the book too. Like I put him in there, like in the scene that will establish the wider universe. So, like,
Mm, sure. So has a little cameo in his book.
well, I wouldn't call it a little cameo. It's like he appears in one major scene, but that where he's in the focus. But uh, it, since but the book is still mainly focused on Rebound. But yeah, you can say
Sure.
that.
Yeah. So this is a universe you're you're developing slowly, right? And this is the
Yeah.
first, like your first book, the first that takes place within this world.
Yeah, like
Um,
Rebound's gonna be like the main focus right now. So, and
yeah,
hopefully this continues, and I can build something off of this.
right. You have a lot of covers. Cover E.
5 of them, yeah.
Wow. By
And this one is
Zilson.
yeah, the interior artist. I had to include a cover by him. So
Right. So this art is featured here also or not? No? No, I don't think so. No. Right. Do we see the art better later on?
huh? Uh, I'm not sure. I
Because
think that's
because I was wondering about this villain guy. Right.
that's Coil. Yeah.
Coil.
That's yeah, he was actually originally part of that team I told you about earlier. He's going to be like a villain who very recently turned legit. And after I scrapped the whole concept, I realized that Coil was the second most well developed character. So I repurposed him, and he's just a villain again.
Cool. Yeah, sure. So will he be like the Dr. Octopus of Spider-Man, like this kind
Oh,
of dynamic?
well, he's I wouldn't say he's like Doctor Octopus, but he is like a key rival to Rebound. Uh,
Sure.
like especially I won't give away too much, but he is like one of his core enemies. So
Yeah.
I imagine especially because the way their powers play off each other, it turns out pretty good. So I really want to put that in there more.
Right. Yeah. I like how this what I'm seeing now kind of evokes this classic superhero theme, like you have the hero and then you have the rogue gallery slowly building up, introducing new villains with every issue.
Yeah, I miss that about comics. Like we don't really have that. Like Marvel and DC, they don't have a lot of new ideas. I think it's because one, they're creatively bankrupt, but also they don't want to create new stuff and not own it. So
Yeah, right. You get 2 copies for $30, and it means you get 2 different covers. Can you pick the covers here?
yeah,
Oh, all right, cool. Retail bundle. You have a lot of stuff going on. If
yeah.
you're a retailer and you're watching, check it
I'm
out.
hoping that the comic book store will get that. It would be nice to get in the shops, but maybe sometime later I'll make a really big effort to do that.
Yeah,
We'll see.
but you got it all. You got it all worked out, man. It looks really professional. The entire trade dress of the books, your logo, your like publisher logo. Is that
Yeah,
called brand? Your brand logo, right? It all
yeah.
looks good. Really cool. Get drawn in. Rebound number 2. Oh, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, but thankfully I have the whole thing drawn. Like I said, I'll just edit one page in it to include the people who back that. And
So what kind of characters will these people be? So there's a scene, and in the background you will see the backers.
yeah, like their
Right.
likenesses will be used. And there's a pretty good scene where in the second issue where background characters are prominently featured, so it'll be easy to include them.
Right. Yeah. I had this once with one of my own books that people could back a tier, and it got drawn in the next book, and I actually gave them like speaking roles.
Hmm,
And
that's a good idea.
I'm never going to do that again because it was a nightmare.
Oh,
Bonus art. Look at this by Edu. I,
Souza. I think it's
yeah,
Souza.
yeah. I noticed. I recognized the art style immediately. Look at this. So this is this. What's her name?
Sistema, yeah. Sistema. First
Yeah.
100 physical backers will get this for free.
Holy shit! It's a print.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really nice.
it'll come with the book. You could like just keep it or put it on your wall or something. But it's a nice design, and I'm glad I got it.
Yeah. She has like these blades that she can charge up, or what's going
Yeah,
on?
they're like energy katanas. Like
Hmm.
I imagine like, well, she's a cybernetic ninja. She can like summon them
Mhm.
out of light or something, and
Right.
that's and they're basically like lightsabers but katanas.
Really nice. Wow. Really cool. Sistema by Edu. Yeah, I know Edu. He made our one of the covers he did for us. Let
That's
me
cool.
see. Do you still have it? Yeah, I have it right here. Look at this. Perfect 10,
Oh wow,
issue
that's
1, the second printing.
wow. I should probably. I definitely want to come back to him sometime. Maybe I'll get him to do a cover.
He's so good. He's so good, man. It's some add-ons, but people can check it out. Basically, everything you offered before, people can add on, right?
Yeah.
Or are there some extra add-ons that weren't in the you haven't seen before?
Oh
You
yeah.
have a foil variant even.
Yeah. You can select that. So
Wow, really cool. Right, push goals. Yeah. Well, let's first get you funded, right? Uh, Before we talk about stretch goals. Here you have some more
oh
interior
yeah.
art.
Yeah. More goodness from Zilson.
Cool. So what do you think is the most difficult as a writer, as a creator, when you develop a story or write a script?
Well, a lot of the time it's just coming up with the idea because I write episodically, so I have to come up with an idea for each story that fits in the issue. And sometimes I've come up with ideas that I thought I liked at the moment, then when I started writing it, I didn't like it. And
Yeah. Oh
you
no.
know what I mean, right? You've been
Yeah,
there.
I know. I know.
Yeah, and that I think can be the hardest part sometimes, and of course, once you're there, you just got to make the story good. You got to make it gripping and exciting, and make sure it also works as an issue.
Sure. So this is
Uh,
Rebound. It is
yeah, his name is
William
Kyle Mercer, and
Kyle
that's his yeah Kyle.
Kyle Mercer. All right.
And that's his girlfriend Amber.
Oh, lucky him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He says, oh yeah. Uh, so what does he do? Does he have a day job or something?
Well, he's a postgraduate from high school. He's like 19 years old, and
Oh.
he's a right now he's trying to get a job, but it's a bit hard right now. Of course, you know how it is,
Mhm.
and he's still
Sure.
living with his parents, and uh, him trying to get a job comes in play in the future issues. But and his girlfriend comes from a wealthy background, and like it's funny he doesn't want to like live off of her because he has too much pride for that. But
Sure.
so yeah, right now he's trying to balance out his life and trying to get a job and make something of himself while also being a superhero.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, those classic superhero tales with like juggling your own life and the superhero life. And so does she know that
Oh
he's Rebound?
no, not right now.
All
She
right.
doesn't know. She does suspect something's weird about him just because of sometimes the way he acts, but she doesn't know that he's a superhero.
No, she does. She just thinks that he's sleeping around with other women.
Oh no, well not that, but
Why are you gone
sometimes
so often?
sometimes he shows up late for dates and he comes up with these half baked excuses and you're
Right.
like, what's up with him? And but she doesn't suspect the real truth. She just thinks has some issues or something. But thankfully, she still likes him though.
Sure. All right. All right. All right. Look at this. It's nice.
Yeah.
Escape. So does Zilson do the colors, or is that someone else?
Oh, that's the colorist is Javi Lapera. Like I actually found him. Have you ever heard of this indie book called Arachna?
Yeah.
But have you read it? Well,
No.
oh, well, I have, the second, issue was done by Javi, and I actually looked in the credits, and I really like the colors, so when I, searched him, I reached out to him, like, "Hey, can you do the colors for this?" And he was happy to do it. I actually directed him to do, like, an '80s, throwback style, like and, he was having a lot of fun with it. So I'm glad I was able to find a book and the artist was available. So
Right. So is she also a Sistema? Is she also a villain?
yeah, they're partners in crime.
All right. Okay.
I have a plan to tell the story of how they met at some point, but who knows when that'll be.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Well, sometimes you come up with background story and you kinda don't really need it for the story, right? So you can tell the story without all this extra detail, and it's better than to leave it out, right? Instead of
Yeah,
cluttering your script with things. Um,
I hear you.
but it's good to know anyway. So you have to know your own characters, right? But you don't have to tell everything about them.
Mhm.
So he has some kind of hoverboard.
Oh yeah, that's how he travels around.
Hmm. Yeah, cool. So
And
what is
he's
this? What is this place?
it's a science expo. It's like I
Oh,
mean, it's at this place called the Javits Center, which is a real place in the city. Uh,
right.
and the ideas of the science expo, well, I mean, it's in a superhero universe, so it shows off some fantastical technology, and that's what the date was about.
Sure.
Just to see that stuff, and well, Coyle's crashing the whole thing because he's a scientist. Well, his boss wants a scientist there for her expertise, so he's going to kidnap her, and
Oh.
so this begins this fight scene that'll show up in the book.
Right. So did is this famous gallery, or do you happen to live in New York that you know this?
Oh well, no, I mean I've been to the city before, but the science expo part was kind of just made up. Well, I think some stuff like that is hosted at the center, but I just
Mhm.
uh, I just looked up the building and I thought it looked really cool, so I used it. And
Sure.
this
Right.
and I came with a science expo idea because I thought, well, it's a superhero universe. They're going to show off some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
So
Of course. Cool. And you have like baddies with crazy masks.
yeah,
All the good stuff that we need. Look at this classic Spider-Man-esque pose
mhm.
and the Daluka effect here.
Oh
Works
yeah,
really good. Yeah. He can make some speed and some height with his powers, right?
yeah.
Really cool. Nice.
And
Yeah.
Coyle confronts him again later after the initial fight, and that begins the main fight scene of this issue.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there are the discs that he throws.
Yeah,
Really cool. It looks nice, man. It looks like good old-fashioned superhero fun.
thanks, man. That's what I was aiming for.
Really good. All right, creative team created by Tyson J. Rock. By the way, that's a perfect name for an action hero, Tyson
Huh?
J. Rock.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I actually put the J up because I thought that would have a nice ring to it.
Sure, sure. Silson Costa and Javi or Javi
Javi
Lapierre?
Lapierre, short for
Javi.
Javier.
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. Fantastic. Looks really good. Guys, check out this campaign. The link to this is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video, if you like. You have
Ooh,
50 backers. We have a
all
backer.
right. Woohoo! Thanks,
Woo,
whoever
we have
did
a
that.
backer.
All right.
Where is it? Here it is.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Woo.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you
Yeah, it
so
was
much.
nice being on.
Yeah, thank you so much. No one claimed this one in the chat. If you're watching, if you're in the chat, thank you so much. Wow, 50 backers. That's a milestone. This is this first campaign. You have 50 backers. That's really
Yeah.
special. That's really special. Not many people do this on the first
Yeah.
campaign.
Oh,
Well done,
yeah.
man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Excellent work. Fantastic. Guys, check it out. Share it. Talk about this campaign. Let's do it. Let's get him to 100 backers. Come on. You have 26 days to go. Excellent. Fantastic. All right. Stop the screen. That was great. Okay, let me before we close off, guys, I will want to show you one thing that you can sign up for, which is this book. It's Perfect 10 Book 5 and POWERTRIP Book 2. So Paul Rodriguez, Daniel Rodriguez, and myself, we're working on Perfect 10 Book 5 right now, and we've also made a other book called POWERTRIP Book 2, which is basically done. It needs a few pages colored still, but that's in progress. And you get 2 books in one campaign. So 2 new books, 1 campaign, guys. It's to make things easy for you. And POWERTRIP basically is this anthology book with 3 shorter stories from the genuine comics universe made by 3 different creative teams. So go check that out. It's fantastic. I'm really proud of this. It's really action packed. This is like the big climax after issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're building up to this issue. So don't miss it, guys. Don't miss it. Just sign up. Go there. Sign up. Don't miss out on the early bird special, whatever that is. Share it with others and stop the screen. Whew. Tyson, thank you so much for being my guest for today and to show us your wonderful book.
I'm glad to finally be here.
Yeah, finally, we made it. We did it. Right. Well, good luck, man. Keep on promoting.
Yeah,
I love the concept.
I hope to come back here in the future, promote more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hopefully there'll be some stuff down the pipeline, and hopefully this will really take off and I'll have something going. I'd be happy to be back.
Sure. Well, you said you already have issue 2 like ready, like written, right? Drawn also.
Yeah,
Did you say drawn?
Yeah, it's all drawn. It just needs to be colored.
That is absolutely nuts.
I mean,
that's really good.
I mean, it helps when you have an artist who's, like I said, really good and dependable, and fast. So
yeah, you know, man, this happened to me too in the beginning. When I first started out, before the first book was done, I went through so many artists and people, and at some point you will find your crew, right? But it will take a little while to find people you can depend on.
Yeah, I take solace in knowing I wasn't alone on this. I've talked to other people and they had the same issues. Like,
yeah, it's completely normal. Yeah, man. But you're doing well. You have a good character here. You have a good. This can work. This is something that I like, so I will definitely be backing.
All right, thanks.
So guys, go check it out. And Tyson, thank you again. And special thanks to the chat. Thank you so much for being here, for watching, for liking this video. So if you like the conversation, give it a like. If you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry. I will be back this Sunday, the regular time. So the regular show, the Sunday show, with a new guest. So same time, same channel, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Bye, guys.